Hi there! Today it's Saturday and I'm about to go out. We're just going to go around the mall, do some shopping and stuff like that. So it's going to be a pretty casual day. And what I was thinking is that I want to do a wearable green eyeshadow look. So what I'm guilty of, and probably a lot of other people, when you want a casual look, you just throw on some neutral shadow, which is fine because basically you can't go wrong with neutral eyeshadow. It's like always classy, always wearable. But I wanted to do a green look that has the similar feeling, let's say. Like, green eyeshadow is one of my favorites, but I wanted to make it everyday appropriate, if that makes any sense, even though that's subjective to everyone, like, you know that. But I wanted to do something that's more toned down, something that won't attract weird looks on your makeup. Even though you should not care about that, but like, you get the point. I wanted to do a more toned down green look. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to make it very everyday appropriate, so I want to use colors as well as make it look wearable. Okay, enough rambling, let's start with the makeup. But today I'm going to start with my face since the eye makeup is not going to be very heavy. Okay, let's get into it. I mentioned this product so many times that you probably know what I'm going to use for foundation in terms of like my everyday makeup. The Rimmel kind of free skin tint. I really love this thing. Like, it looks just so natural. And I'm going to stop talking about it because I kept talking about it for months at this point. Okay, that's kind of the amount that I apply. For this product in particular, I like blending it with my fingers first, so the sponge won't absorb a lot of it, even though the texture is quite creamy. It's not like very liquidy. So the texture resembles a BB cream, and the coverage and the finish also resembles a BB cream, so it's kind of like it's like very beautiful for everyday looks. Just going to use my Eco Tools sponge and start blending this into my skin. I had a pimple here and I absolutely murdered it. It's going to take a long time to heal. The things I did to that pimple, you don't want to know. Another holy grail of mine when it comes to everyday makeup is the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age Eraser. This one is in the shade Light, but as you can see, it has so little product left. Just going to use whatever is left in this, and I'm going to apply it in the inner portion of my under eye here, concentrating exactly in my inner corner because that's where I have a lot of darkness which I want to cover and brighten up. And I'm gonna take the same sponge and start blending this in. I haven't filmed in a week at this point because I was away from home in the beginning of this week. I mean, I did film that little vlog. Some of you might have seen it already. If not, I'm just going to link it somewhere on the screen. So that little trip kind of messed up my schedule completely because it's Saturday and I haven't filmed anything for the next week. This is the first video that I'm filming. I'm just going to use whatever product is left on my sponge to cover my eyelids with it. Again, it kind of cancels out the darkness. I'll be trying to cover this little friend here, but I'm going to leave the concealer dry there for a while because at this rate, nothing can cover that. I hope I won't get a scar because I was literally doing this with my nail like for a full day to this pimple. Poor thing. I'm gonna need my translucent powder, and lately I've been loving to set with a sponge. That's what I'm going to do. I usually just set my under eyes, so I'm going to pick up a fairly large amount of powder on my sponge, kind of this much. Just going to pick up a little bit more though, because that's my cat. First, I'll make sure there are no creases on my under eyes. I don't want to set those into place. I'm just going to stamp the powder there. With this sponge, I think I'm going to need a brush to remove the excess. Because of the shape, it kind of picks up a lot of it. And then I'll take whatever fluffy brush and just dust it away. Let's see if I can remove this patch here. I have a little patch, yeah. Let's see, I'm just going to tap kind of around this pimple to not remove the coverage exactly on it. You know, I'm just going to blend the sides into my skin. On an everyday type of makeup situation, I don't really contour, mainly I think because I'm lazy, but I don't know, just bronze up my skin. I'm using, as usual, my Dior nude bronzer. It's in the shade 2. Discontinued, unfortunately. It's a very nice product. Such a shame. They should have just changed the packaging, in my opinion, because mine broke. So I'm thinking they had a little bit of an issue with the packaging. Okay, this is a Morphe M405 brush. I'm just going to use it to stamp the bronzer kind of higher up on my cheek. I'm using stamping motions because I did not set this side of my face with powder and I want to avoid patchiness on my skin. Just going to use it and drag it down my jawline as well. A little bit kind of on the tip of my nose and a little bit on my forehead. Here on my temples, I'm just going to pinch my brush and do that little connection with the eyeshadow that is going to come a little bit later. So I'll be using the Urban Decay Primer Potion. The thing is, this requires a little bit of a dry time, so until I apply my blush and highlighter, this will have enough time to sit and dry. Just going to do little tapping motions. For blush, I do love how this Makeup Forever one looks with green eyeshadow, because it's quite I don't know, I just love how peach tones like this pair with green. Just personal preference. I'm gonna use my fluffy Real Techniques blush brush and pick up the product. Obviously. Tap off the excess. I'm going to do again little taps above the bronzer and keeping it on the sides of my face. I like that this brush does not pick up a lot of product, so for pigmented blushes this is like perfect. For highlighter, you guessed it, the e.l.f. Baked Highlighter in the shade Moonlight Pearls. I think I will use this product until I have no drop of product in this pan. I'm going to use my Sigma F03 High Cheekbone Highlighter and dust this on my cheeks. A little bit on my chin and nose area. I'm just going to highlight the tip of my nose and in between my brows here and a little bit above my brows. Now for the much awaited eyeshadow look. Awaited by me, of course. The plan is to use 2 eyeshadow palettes today. The Beaute Classical Paradise palette, I don't think that I use this ever for my YouTube. It's so beautiful. Unfortunately, I have the old formula. They reformulated this collection, the Paradise collection. The colors are the same, the formula is just different. They probably improved it. The thing with these ones, they are very pigmented, but they're kind of trickier to blend and they do have quite a large amount of fallout. Anyways, the reason why I'm using this because it has this shade which for me, this kind of a shade is the definition of wearable green, because it's more toned down, it's kind of like olive toned. So it's kind of like if you don't have a shade like this, I think you can get away by mixing a bright green with a neutral shade, maybe something like this. Kind of like a neutral light brown shade. It will tone down a little bit of that green intensity. The second palette is going to be the Colourpop High Society palette. I think this is discontinued, but the plan is to use the shimmer in this palette. Probably this or this one, or maybe a mix of both. We'll see about that. So the Classical Paradise, the packaging is so beautiful. Like, I do love the aesthetic of Beaute. Let's see, I'm going to take obviously this shade that I talked about. As you can see, it has quite a bit of fallout, but I don't think there's a point in me talking about this formula since it's long gone and they released a new and probably improved formula. I'll be using my Real Techniques Essential Crease Brush. So I'm going to pop this shade in my outer corner and then use whatever is left to blend in my crease. And I've been trying to experiment with everyday looks I admit it kind of requires a little bit of kind of a little bit of research, let's say, because I'm just going to extend it on my lower lash line as well. Thing is, it's easier to just pop a neutral shade and call it a day, but I don't know, I feel like this kind of a look, even though it's not that loud, not that in your face, it's going to kind of make your look stand out in a way. Because like in a sea of neutral, you're that little pop of color, even though it's like still wearable and still appropriate for a lot of everyday occasions. So yeah, I did a little like thinking, a little research of colors that I can use without them being too loud, and one of them is the peachy look that I did. I'm just going to link it somewhere on the screen. I also did a look a while ago. I didn't film it for YouTube, unfortunately, but it was that kind of a mustard yellow. So I do love these tones that are colorful, but at the same time they are not too bright, let's say. Because for example, a neon green, maybe not that suitable for everyday looks. I mean, of course depends on everybody, but I'm talking about kind of like the objective everyday look. I wonder what they changed to the formula. I would really love to try their newer formula. Like whenever I'm thinking everyday looks, to me the everyday standard would be, what would my mom think about this? I think this would be mom approved. I mean, depends on how I end it, but for now, for what I have in my head, I think it will be mom approved. So if it's mom approved, it's everyday approved. She does love these tones. Like when I was little, all she wore was green eyeshadow, and she wore kind of this kind of a green, which also resembles her eye color a lot. She does have like this spring green type of eye color. Oh, and the reason why I picked green also is because it's very suitable for spring. It's kind of like that nature comes to life color. For the shimmer on the lid part, I'm going to take the shade Promise in the High Society palette. I'll be trying to use this. I'm not sure how it will fit, even though in the pan it looks quite teal. It does have pretty green shimmers, like particles in it. So let's see how this goes. I'm not going to apply a lot of it. I think I'm just going to go with the brush and not tap it with the finger like I usually do, because the finger application is going to make it look a little bit more vibrant, but I don't really want that for today's look. I want it to be a little bit more toned down, if that makes any sense. Now I'm gonna take the fluffy brush again and just blend the sides of this shimmer, kind of fade it into the matte. No wing liner for today, but I'm going to do the usual kind of how I lift my outer corner with a brown pencil. This is the Sephora Collection 12-hour contour in the shade Tiramisu. I'm just going to apply a tiny bit of this in my outer corner and then smudge it so it creates a more definition to my eye. You can use eyeshadow, but I don't know why I just like using the pencil instead. So just tapping a little bit of that just in my outer corner near my lash line, and then I'm gonna take a pencil brush and start smudging this. I do this mainly because I have light colored eyes and I do feel like they need a little bit of defining, like something darker around my lash line. If you have like dark brown eyes, I think you can get away with not doing this. See how that kind of added a little bit more definition to my eye, kind of shapes my eye a little bit more. I think a light colored pencil on the waterline will look very beautiful with this look, and it will open up my eyes a little bit more. So I'm going to use this again. This is from the Sephora Collection 12-hour contour range, but it's in the shade Coconut this time. I'm just going to pop that on my waterline. So it's kind of like a light cream kind of a color. The last thing that I want to do before adding mascara to this look is highlight my inner corner. I'm going to use the same Classical Paradise palette, and I'm going to pick this barley shade here. I like that it's kind of yellow toned. I did use kind of like a warmer green, so this pairs really well with yellows. As you can see, if you look at this palette, this entire palette is warm toned. Even the green, because the green has a little bit of kind of yellow in it somehow. So I'm just going to pop this in my inner corner, and it is so vibrant. Gorgeous. And a little bit underneath the arch of my brow. I'll be heating up my lash curler and applying some mascara to finish off the eyes. I like tilting it like that. It kind of creates a nicer curlier curl. Really, really lifts them up. And I'm using this Sephora Collection, the mascara, really quickly before they have a chance to flop. Wiggle the brush like that to get every lash, and also applying that to my lower lashes. I like kind of using the tip of my wand for my lower lashes, kind of doing this little motion here. Let's finish off this look with a warm nude lip. I'm going to use my Boysenberry's lip pencil in the shade Butter Nude. Soon I won't be able to sharpen this thing. I really love the tone it has though. I do pretty much enjoy this kind of a warm nude instead of like a nude pink. I feel like it looks a little bit better on me and my skin tone. I overline a little bit here in the center. On my bottom lip I usually just follow my natural line, because my bottom lip is visibly fuller than my top lip. I'm just going to use a little bit of my Sleek Matte Me just in the center of my lip, kind of here, and use my finger to blend. Oh wow, what if I keep it matte today on the lips? Who am I? I almost always finish up my looks with a gloss, but I think I will be adding a gloss a little bit later today. I bet that my lips will feel a little bit dry throughout the day. So far, I'm fine with this. I do like how it looks though. Rocking the matte lip today, at least for probably like an hour. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think this green look is appropriate for everyday wear? I'm curious to hear that. For me, like, I'm really comfortable in it. I have no issues going anywhere in the world with this kind of a makeup. I have no issues meeting my mom in this makeup, so it is everyday appropriate for me. I feel like it's very beautiful for spring though. And it's not loud, it's not that in your face type of a green. So yeah, I really like it. That's it for me for today. I'm going to go on with my lovely Saturday. It's so sunny and warm today outside, and I'm really excited for this day in general. Hope you're having an amazing sunny day as well, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!